for the lack of better words. I was worried about going to jail because there is so much uncertainty going on. And with kids, with family, I don't want to do anything wrong, legally, blah, blah, blah. And
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Behind the Screen with Gramajo, the podcast where we unravel the untold stories of the best on-chain builders and creators. I'm your host Gramajo, an avid crypto enthusiast that's been in the space since 2012. Yeah, so this week's episode, episode 25, super excited about this milestone. I sat down with Chinmay, who is the builder and creator of Percs, which is a front end to bringing your Shopify store on chain, and also most recently launched Basket, which is kind of like a tool that you can create a basket of tokens. And so when you cast about it or tweet about it, people can easily just buy all the same positions that you did. So it's like a copy trading position. Really cool stuff with some fun mechanics, all permissionless. But yeah, Chinmay's a serial builder kind of in the space. Met him at FarCon recently. It was a pleasure kind of meeting him in person, but also talking with him after the fact. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Let's dive in. Yeah, let's hop in, man. So first, let's start off for anyone that doesn't know who you are. Who is Chinmay? And dox yourself as much as you like.
yeah, no, I'm doxxed. Like, I'm Chinmay everywhere. That's my real first name, legal first name. So, yeah. Plus, it's not that super common. It's common, but it's not super common. So, people will be able to find me very easily. So, I'm doxxed myself. I'm not worried about that. But my background, I come from a development background. I used to code back in 2010 uh, in open source. I got some of the good experience with Mozilla as an open source contributor. They never paid me. Let me put it this way. I was never an employee, but they gave me a lot of experience in terms of code building and stuff. After that, a bunch of startup as a junior developer, sometimes as a founder, sometimes lucky with minor exit, sometimes unlucky with like just losing 3 years of my life. That's like a normal game with startups, right? So have been done that, all of it. Uh, and for the last 4 years, have been building Perks, which is a marketing tools and software company for on-chain creators. And I think the product has reached its ceiling. So spinning it out for another product called Basket, which is also in the blockchain space, specifically in the DeFi space. We have DeFi experience prior to Perk. So we are just like, because of the market circumstances, I think it's a perfect time to build DeFi product. So we're going in that direction. But yeah, at heart, still a coder. But because the team has a lot of coders now, like we have like 4 to 5 other people who can code better than me. So I'm the sales guy now.
Nice.
As simple as that.
That's awesome. I mean, it's good. At least you like did a little bit of coding, so you understand kind of like their pain points and can help out either in prioritization or other stuff.
I was a hardcore coder for 10 years, like, and I still prefer to code over sales. We can talk into like philosophy behind that, but that's a different story for another day. Unless that's what you want to showcase to your audience. But like, yeah, I prefer coding over sales. It's just that in the team, sales is more required, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So is Perks? Because I know for a while, when I was writing my newsletter more actively, that the space of like the Shopify front end, like on-chain version of that, like there was Warp Shop and then you guys.
Yeah.
It seemed kind of competitive. There was like another company too, I forget which one, but like
Slice
is another one, but Slice is almost like a full-on replacement almost of
yes.
It. Like it doesn't need Shopify as a backend to to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, is Perks like in a stable position where you're just like not investing more R&D into it, or is it like,
Yeah. So let me give like double click on Perks a little bit, right? So Perks started when some of my friends who was working at Shopify, they reached out and said, Chinmay, you're running an agency right now. There is an opportunity where some brands wants to go live with their NFT products on Shopify. And I wanted to get into product opportunities as well myself. So I talked to the brands, they introduced me, and then we build NFT sales and token gating solutions for those companies. And those companies were Budweiser, Playboy, Superplastic, and some amazing other names. So that's how we got started with the NFT world in Shopify. We continued doing so successfully for next 12 to 18 months. Then the bear market hit. Meanwhile, we raised funds, so we actually planned for the bear market. So when the bear market hit, we went back to the drawing board and say, hey, where do we want to diversify? We stuck by the creators, and then we started looking into messaging protocols like XMTP and Forecaster APIs, at the same time frames and those opportunities. So we expanded the product line to few features where creators can multiple mass DMs to their followers in the on-chain space, and some few forecaster frames creation and everything around that. I think we have reached at the ceiling of that product where market needs to catch up before we build more features, because it's a very feature-rich product already. Like you can send a welcome message automation when somebody follows you, they get a message. You can already send bulk messages to all your audience from with literally within a few clicks. You can upload a list of addresses and it will send you XMTP messages as well. So it's a very feature-rich product already. Now it's time for market to catch up before we do anything else. So we're putting it into maintenance mode, and because we are a VC funded company, we need to keep taking bigger shots than what is available, and that's what Basket is.
got it? Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. And I agree. Like I used Perks, like it's really good. Like actually someone recently was
Thank you.
asking me, um, like, so right now obviously like mini apps is like the new hot thing, but obviously V1 frames were also really good in my opinion.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah, we
yeah,
got like solid conversion. Oh my God, we were so
yeah,
conversion focused that we were measuring DM conversions. DM conversions were like 6 to 7 times better, if I remember stats correctly, than regular email newsletters. And the frame conversion was great as well when like we had automatically, we still do actually, frames v1 automatically generator where people can where creators can put out a frame saying that opt in to sort of newsletter or something, and people would see that post in their feed and they click, and then now the opt in has happened already. So we had like those conversion frames and those were doing really well. uh, Again, the problem is, I think, not with the product or feature or even creators. It's just the market is not mature enough where people can put a price tag to it. So because there is no dollar value attached to it, I don't think I deserve to charge for that product and features right now.
yeah,
So that's the problem.
yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I'm hoping, hopefully, like, because we're also losing a ton of like as a creator, like we're losing a lot of ways to like some of these automation like tools for content creators. So like yeah, like you said, like if someone follows you, like it sends you a DC or a direct cast, or even like upload a list and you can send a message to people. Like I know Bello
Yep.
used to do that, but I think Bello is
Yes.
like pivoting. So like yeah,
Yes.
we're losing some
Ballo
tools.
basically moved away from product to like services company, if I remember correctly,
Yeah,
where they're more focused on like creating their cohort-based on-chain creator onboarding, which is
yeah,
perfect. Like I think I looked up to Ballo in terms of their maturity on the marketing side, because I come from the builder side, because I come from the coding side. I don't have background into how marketers think. And I actually learned a lot by listening to Ballo's podcast and how marketers think about it. We built the product before, and I think our product is a little better. But at the same time, I think their maturity and thought process was way better than ours.
yeah. Yeah, but you guys are surviving. Like you said, you guys are in maintenance mode right now. So I feel like that's like the game that, I mean, it's still a great product. Like you said, it still works really well. Like
Thank
I
you.
literally used I went to go check my V1 frame that I built like a while back, and no
In
issues.
work?
Like it
Yay!
still worked, like no
Makes me so
issues,
happy, man.
which is
Makes me
great. I
so
mean,
happy.
like I know they're thinking about deprecating it and stuff, but like that's out of your control. Like, but
Yeah.
like yeah, it was
At
still
that time, we'll just remove the frames button.
yeah, like it was just kind of funny. Like I went back and I was, damn, this still. I'm like, this thing still works. It's great.
Yeah, no, I think people build some amazing code, and that's why I'm not a coder anymore because they people better code than me.
Let's see. Yeah, so I actually I'm gonna pivot a little bit, but uh, we'll come back to some of like the challenges you guys are facing right now, and
Sure.
basket as well. But I wanted to get your opinion on this because I feel like I have this opinion as well sometimes where um, early on, and I'll get some background. So this is like an interview you had with BFG, um,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's like a follow up to that. And I'll link it for everybody in the show notes so they can go listen to it as well. But um, I know like when we first got started with like crypto and consumer crypto apps, it was like the idea was basically like, okay, um, put Instagram, but put it on the blockchain. Like it was always like grab this
Hmm.
next idea and put it on the blockchain.
Yeah,
Um, and then I remember I'm like, for a while, I was like, what is the benefit of having it like, like on a
yeah,
decentralized platform where sometimes it could go slow? Cause, I think people forget like before L2s on ETH and Solana, like,
yeah.
things are slow. Like I've bought
80-minute
coffee.
finality times, or six
Yeah.
minutes or 8 minutes finality time, and that's a lot
Yeah.
for most things.
Yeah. Like I've bought coffee with Bitcoin before, like a long
Yeah,
time ago, like 10 years ago. And yeah, it was like I had to wait like for 10 minutes before they let me go.
exactly. And you must have paid like half a dollar or something in gas fees to get that like $2 coffee, right?
Correct. Yeah. Don't even remind me. It's probably worth a lot more now, but, um,
Absolutely.
so, so long-winded way of saying, I know in that interview you were saying that there's just certain apps that should not be, built on the blockchain.
Yeah,
Maybe you have more benefits of it just sitting on a AWS stack or just like the Web 2 rails.
absolutely.
You don't have to name names if you don't want, but like what is an example of something that you're like, I still don't understand why this has to be on crypto? Or do you have
So,
that? Has that changed for you like recently? Like
so I think any application that does not benefit from a perspective of ownership should not be on blockchain. Like if I, for example, like I'll just give you like a last app that I used, right? Like my son goes to school and they have an app where teachers would send pictures of my kid to me after like every couple of days whenever they feel like, and then it's a private app where I log in and stuff like that. This does not need to be on chain. What's the point of being this on chain? Like it's not about doxing my son or anything. It's more about like I'm not gonna convert that into NFT and coin it, right? Like there is no value in ownership. The data economy itself is good enough value, or not good enough. That's the only value here. The ownership is not really the value here.
yeah,
So that doesn't need to be on chain. Like Uber in its current state does not need to be on chain. What will need to be on chain? There are a couple of iterations of that, but I don't see there is any ownership reasons to be for Uber to, at this point in time, be on chain. Like, yeah, you can put loyalty points on chain. You can put like user registration on chain with ZKPs. So there are ways to do it, but is this a current problem? I don't see it yet. Uh, Unless somebody's saying that, hey, I have been an Uber driver for like, let's say 5 years, and I want to transfer my identity and leverage that to get a mortgage loan at this financial institution, and that data sharing happens. And I'm like, that is supposed to be on blockchain. But those
yeah,
use cases are not as much explored. I actually know a few companies who actually do the API integration with Uber, and they will identify how much money you made for the last 5 years, and they do microloans. For like the microloans are like $10,000, $5,000 kind of loans, and not more than that. But that basically says that hey, you have been generating $10,000 every month through Uber, means you are good enough for $5,000, $10,000 on a monthly basis, and they that just acts as like a major data point, not the only data point, but one data point, and you put something else as collateral. So point is that yes, you can have that kind of thing on chain, but not right now, especially the first example that I gave between the app for parents and teachers to communicate about their kids. I don't see a reason to be on chain at all.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think if anything, you would want more like end-to-end encrypted like
More
that.
privacy. Yeah,
Yeah, more privacy or anything. I guess that does
exactly.
lead me to another follow-up question then. So there are
Go ahead.
examples. There are examples of consumer apps that we have now in crypto where
Hmm.
they're on crypto, but the ownership is not your ownership, so it's a shared contract.
Hmm. Which one?
Like um, Paragraph's an example.
Fair. That's actually a very good example. Yes, yes.
Yeah, Paragraph, you don't like the NFTs that you mint aren't associated with your actual like specific uh like ENS. So like if you go to my gramajo.eth on OpenSea, like you can't see my Paragraph posts. You can see my mirror
Oh,
posts, but you can't see my Paragraph posts. It's like a different method
interesting.
of it's like a shared contract. Old school OpenSea used to be like that too, and Rarible as well.
Yeah.
So you would upload NFTs and it was on a shared contract versus on Manifold where you own the contract. Um, so I guess what does that say about those kind of apps then?
So again, I am a believer. Like, for example, I'm a believer of like any and all the experiments should be conducted as long as it doesn't hurt anyone, right? And these apps are not hurting anyone, so I
No.
think it deserves to exist. Now it's up to the consumers, it's up to the founders, it's up to somebody whoever is investor is, all of those folks to decide whether that app should be flourishing or not. So who am I to judge whether that experiment should be conducted or not? So I don't have any opinions in that regards. Now, if you ask me how to improve it, I have 10,000 opinions. And one of the opinions, exactly what you just said. I think the relationship should be online. I should be able to bring my credibility from forecasters to this newsletter, and anyone who is already on paragraph who is my follower should automatically be converted into my newsletter opt-in because they follow me on Farcaster. That means also they would not want to hear from me for the long-term posts and everything like that. Or they should at least receive a notification from my end and say that, would you also like to hear this from me? And it's a one-click experiment that they can opt into long-form posts that I'm about to have as a writer. So I think those experiments and experiences to be built have should be, in my opinion. Will it work? I don't know. I'm not smart enough to answer that. There is always going to be some level of niche with some level of execution that the product will find survivability, whether it's five founders, two founders, one founder, or somebody doing it part time. Uh, so that's where my brain is going. Um, should they exist? Absolutely yes.
Yeah,
Would I
definitely.
change something? A lot, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, same. And they've heard that from me before because that's like
Yep, same.
one of my biggest complaints. But
They
awesome.
after the acquisition, I think they kind of lost the track, right? Like that's what it feels like. Remember that merger happened between Paragraph and I forgot the name of the second one. So
Mirror.
Mirror, yes, 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 yes. So when the merger happened, it felt like I'm like, why are these two people getting married? This is not gonna help, and it's just gonna add more work on both sides. And I haven't seen a significant feature coming out of Paragraph since merger. I may come across as like quite bold and probably wrong in this case, but I think that was the peak Paragraph for me.
Yeah, um they rolled out like a new user. They've been working like on the UI UX a lot more. So um and I know they rolled out some new visuals, like a new logo and stuff like that. So I'm hoping like we're on the around the corner from seeing a little bit more from them. I mean, I definitely gave them like a suggestion of like you know how tipping right now on Farcaster is like kind of popular.
Yeah,
Um, you know the feature that I was kind of asking for as something that's like different from Web two, but also like kind of cool, would be like if you spent like 2-3 minutes reading my article,
it
like that
automatically tips.
it automatically would tip you,
Love
like,
it.
or
Love
like,
it.
like in 1 week, tell me like, hey, these are the people that spent the most time reading your work this week.
Ooh.
And then you're like, and then, it's kind of like forecaster. So it's like, do you want to tip them? I don't
Yeah.
have to, but like
Yeah.
if
Just
it's,
send a people DM or notification on
it's
like 2 p.m. Tuesdays, and then just say like I'll actually love that idea. They should build it. That is actually going to be a very useful idea.
yeah. And obviously, like, people can game it and stuff, like someone could just leave the thing open, like blah blah blah. Like, it's up to
Sure.
you to kind of like figure it out. And if it's like $1 or whatever, like, I don't know.
It's a
Anyways,
material amount of money.
yeah. And I was like, that's not for me to figure out. I was just like, seems like a differentiating idea from like Substack and all these other tools. And there are actually some other Web3 publishing platforms that tell you how much, I forget the name of it, but it's like minutes or seconds, something. I forget the name of it, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they track how long like people are like reading
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And like the best part about crypto in this case is we can do micropayments like no other, right? That's the best part about it. Like for example, in the traditional world, if somebody is to send $3, they'll spend like 30 cents plus 3% to make it happen. Right now, even if you want to send a $1, it's 1 cent. So or less than that. Like if you do it mass, like then you can do 100 of them in 1 cent. So point is, I think that's a good feature. It actually emphasizes the value of building paragraph on a crypto rail.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well,
Love
we'll
it.
see. Mention it. We'll see if it happens. I think that was like a week or two ago when I said that. Maybe longer, but all
No,
right.
this is solid.
So going back to you guys. So I think you mentioned some of the challenges that you're facing uh on the perk side, not necessarily a challenge, but more like challenge in the market,
Yeah.
and waiting for it to catch up. What are some of the challenges you're facing now with Basket, and if you could actually give a background of what Basket is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So I think the market is not mature, and I think I've made that mistake multiple times, and I'm trying to be better at this now, which is being too early is equally being wrong. So I have learned that lesson, and I'm trying to build products that are already can be in demand. At least it solves the problem current that people are currently having. So with that in mind, in December we started looking at a couple other ideas. Like one idea was actually what Bracky Agent is, but for existing sport. So pick any sport, and people can do their short-term prediction markets based on live Oracle streams. So that's one way we were looking at it. Another idea that we were looking at baskets, as in like index funds. And when we looked at index funds, we realized that it's an opportunity, but it's already been attempted, and people are not getting it. So, for example, back in 2019, something called Crypto 20 was launched, and 2022 or something it got shut down. I think at that time it was built on top of Ethereum, and the gas fees would have just killed the product regardless because it's super hard. Finding on-chain liquidity is impossible. So many other problems that goes with it. So that's one. Then came Index Co-op or Index Coop or Index Co-op. They gained a lot of traction in the first couple of weeks, and then they drop off. And the third is reserve.org. They also have a very good product as well. So there are competitors who were doing it. We did like a solid competition analysis around this, and then realized that none of this actually allow creators like you and me to create our own basket of tokens based on our research and allow me to earn fees on a regular basis. So when we came up with this idea, we were like, okay, let's do this. Then we started talking to the trader personality and like different personalities in crypto and see what kind of investments they want to make with meme coins. Because again, we want to stick to meme coins and in the facilitation because meme coins are not financial assets. So we started thinking from that perspective, and we asked meme coin degens or investors like what do they think, and they are like, look, if somebody has done the research, then I instead of taking one shot at one token, I would spread it out between multiple tokens and see which one would rise. And we are like, okay, that's what basket is. I think a diversification of taking shots. That's what we started building. This is like in late January, early February. This is the early lesson that we had. So we started building the product around that. Uh, at the same time, we learned that most index funds that are launched so far by other competitors, they have traction in the first couple of weeks and then die out. And the reason behind that is freshness. because there is so many products and tokens and everything happens in crypto, that a basket that is not evolving super fast is going to lose the attention of folks. So the two ways to solve it. One is to create a very dynamic basket that is changing every day, every week. Or another way to do it is allowing people to create as many baskets as easily as possible. So we went with the second route where people like you and me can create basket in literally a matter of seconds, and launch it out and then go from there. So that with that particular ease of creation, within first few weeks, we got more than 500 baskets created by people, which was a huge success. We ran some contests, people created baskets, and out of that, I think 80 to 100 baskets are high quality baskets. Like I cannot speak for all of them, but I think we have that standard 20-80 ratio. Still surviving, where 20% content is valuable, way more valuable than the 80 rest of the 80% content. So that's there. And now we are in the process of helping folks discover those baskets in multiple formats, through notifications, through their feed, through their DMs, giving them updates on it so people can find out, star certain baskets, and get updates on it before they decide to purchase. Like how many times people need to get that notification for the basket before they ape into that basket. These are the calculations that we are doing, and at the same time, what kind of information they need in order to purchase a basket. So this is the process that we are in. We have had like 2-3 ETH worth of volume through our basket. We need to 100x it before we can basically commit to more features. So we are in this process right now. We have still like lots of build to go. 2-3 ETH of transaction proves that there is value to this. We still have to figure out like, is it really a product or a project which is going to die down? So that's the phase we are in, and we need to figure out the next steps.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like that sustainable growth and like getting it to like the next phase, like yeah, that's always like the tough part, but
Exactly. It's like finding product market fit. I think we are in the cycle of finding product market fit, where I would say we have like 10-20% done, but 80% still is outstanding.
yeah. Do you let me see. What was the question I was going to ask you on that? Because
I
it's
like the
kind of
relaxed nature of this podcast, by the way. I love it.
yeah. I'm like thinking about it. Like, do you have any concerns on like because like the legal person in me is like it sounds like an index fund, obviously. Do you have any concerns around kind of like someone being like, this is like
So we are focused on meme tokens mostly right now. So meme coins are categorically considered not security now. So I'm not worried about it. What people build out of that is something out of my question as well. Like if I build a gun, I can't really control how people use it, everything around that, right? Like the same logic. And right now they are immutable smart contracts. So once we deploy, we don't know. Again, this is not a legal opinion or defense or anything. It's just that I'm more worried about, do people really want it? Let's build something people want, and then we can get into other problems afterwards. Uh,
yeah.
so that's the goal that we're gonna go and explore first. Our current stance is as simple as that. Meme coins are not security, and other tokens are definitely it comes into that speculation basket, which is, in my opinion, meme coins as well. So people like this is not a financial product that we are offering by any stretch of imagination.
Yeah, definitely. The other question, actually, that triggered finally the one that I had in mind.
Mhm.
So, this is all theoretical, but so let's say Basket works with your Warpcaster wallet, right? Your Warplet.
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool. So my thinking is, let's say the Farcaster wallet, because they're testing now Monad, and so the
Yes.
Ethereum side of things are like covered. But there's been a lot of Solana commentary on Farcaster.
Yep.
I'd say, let's say it supports Solana in the future, like the wallet. Would you be able to build basically a basket that includes meme tokens on Base, meme tokens on Solana from there pretty easily?
Oh yeah. We are based on Base right now, so let me start with that. Uh, we would be able to. That's not the hard part. The real challenge comes from the liquidity sourcing. So, which decentralized exchange launched on that particular uh, L1 or L2 that is EVM compatible that we can source the tokens from? Like, as long as we know how to buy and sell token on that particular L1, I think we are good.
Okay. Yeah, because I
L1 or
feel like
L2, but you get the gist.
yeah, I get the gist. Yeah, because I think that would be really cool. Because like I feel like obviously Solana has deep liquidity when it comes to meme tokens um,
Yes.
compared to Base.
Solana is not EVM, so we are not really on
Correct,
Solana,
correct. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like we are sticking to EVM at least for now, because our thesis is very simple. Like if we can't get the product to work in Base, which has good enough, I'm not saying it's the best meme coin ecosystem. I think Solana is the best meme coin ecosystem, hands down. Whether meme coin ecosystem is valuable or not, that's a separate question. I'm not gonna go there. But meme coin ecosystem by Solana is better than Base. However, Base has a good sizable meme coin ecosystem. So if we can't make it work in Base, there is no chance in hell that we can make it work in Solana. So we are not even thinking about migration to Solana because that will be a whole new blockchain, whole new coding language, whole new integrations, whole new wallet infrastructure, and everything around that. So sticking to Base because it's EVM, I think there is a lot of exploration to be done before we decide to move to any other chain, any other non-EVM chain.
yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Obviously, rolling out to like I don't know, anime from Azuki, which is Arbitrum.
Yeah,
Like that would be pretty straightforward, just because
yeah.
it's the OP stack. So I'm sure there's still some work, but I'm sure it's
Oh yeah,
feasible
yeah,
very quickly.
yeah. Yeah, the work, like again, work is probably that's why my team hates me, but I was about to just throw a timeline there, so I'll shut up. But but point is like the work is not the problem. It's more about like do we have enough components that are needed in order to go live there? Well, I said like liquidity sourcing, decentralized exchanges, and is there any consumer demand around that in order to make it happen? If both
Yeah,
are there, uh, launching other EVM chains is not the it's a time problem. It's not a complexity problem, if you know what I mean, right? Like it
yeah,
could be 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or less or more. But the point I'm trying to say is that it's not a technical problem. It's the other problems.
yeah. No, that makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
what lessons are you applying from Perks to Basket, if there are any?
So I'm trying to not build everything before going live. I think I made a lot of mistakes around Parks where we had like for some new features, we had 3 month build cycles. Technically, they were needed, but I think we could have broken it down to like 2 to 4 week cycles and then received feedback earlier. The second one is like from the, I think this is a personal lesson where I was very much immersed in DeFi before I started Perks. And I chickened out, I'm not gonna lie. Like I chickened out from by staying away from DeFi because I was, for the lack of better words, I was worried about going to jail because there is so much uncertainty going on. And with kids, with family, I don't want to do anything wrong legally, blah, blah, blah. And third, I was seeing myself as like, I'm not going to play in speculation. I'm better than other people. Like sitting myself, like placing myself on like this white ivory tower and then boom, like that was completely wrong. I think it's about ownership. It's more about what people want. And with that, I think I self-corrected myself and saying, look, I think I should be more open about more DeFi. There is more regulation clarity. At least meme coins and certain coins that are completely speculative. They are definitely not uh, a security based on the current security infrastructure. So based on that, I'm open to it. And my personal lesson of like I'm gonna stay, like I will stay away from speculation game. I think that's what people want. That's what we build. So I got adapted to that mindset a little bit more. Uh, Things that I did wrong in Perks, I'm just making sure that I can avoid it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Getting feedback early
Oh
is
yeah,
always good. Yeah, exactly.
not sure it's gonna like come to the conclusion faster, but it definitely feels like you're iterating faster, right? Like there are times where I'm like, shit, I knew that this is gonna be the feedback. Why did you even put this as a as a milestone because I know that this would not work without this other two, three features. So at that time, I should have taken longer because each cycle itself has its own work that is associated with it. We should have been able to uh, in aggregate like spend 20-30% time less in order to get some of the features out.
Mm.
And 3 month cycle is not still a big cycle, right? Like we're not
No,
taking
no,
6 months, 12-month cycles. Like we are shipping fast. We're deploying features every 2-3 weeks. Yeah, I'm talking about like a major feature cycle.
yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that isn't that long at all. Uh,
Yeah.
that's some good
So yeah, this
lessons,
is
though.
some of the things.
No,
Yeah, no, definitely.
it's some good lessons, man. Especially like
Thank you.
in the meme coin token world, things move very quickly. So
A
yeah,
lot, right? Like just see what happens. Yesterday, Ethereum like acted like a meme coin.
yeah, it's ripping.
I know,
Yeah,
right? It's like
yeah, but
where were you like 6 months ago when everyone was getting a heart attack and getting depressed?
right. I know, man.
It's
I
the
will.
same fundamentals. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed other than like a new, of course, like this new release. But people knew this release as these people say they're going to release and they release it. So I don't think that is a new fundamental shift.
No, I don't think it has to do with Pectra or whatever. That's.
Yeah, I don't think it's Spectra.
I'd be shocked
I
if
think
it
it's a
was.
new Pope has a good connection to new Pope has a good connection with the new telephone line with the God. I'm so sorry. I'm making a religious joke. I should stay away from that.
Yeah. What's what's your North Star right now? Like, what's the KPI that you're shooting for in basket? Like, more indexes,
Usage,
more
usage,
usage, more
usage.
volume.
Yeah, 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 more volume. Like I think it's the only number that matters at the end. So everything else helps with this number. And not going to lie, like for the last couple of weeks, we have been not able to grow that much. We know why it's not happening, but we don't know how to fix it. Like there are lots of uh, ifs and buts, and I think there are lots of table stake features that need to be added before we can do it, or at least that's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah. Do you think it's like partly like sharing, like like mind share? Like it's kind of like you roll it out,
Uh,
you cast it,
I've
but
been
then
fortunate with the mindshare problem because again, we learned those lessons earlier last year when we built the movie game just for fun, right? If we can send a reminder to the users, they'll check things out, especially in Farcaster. So we don't send people notifications that often. We send like 2 or 3 notifications on a weekly basis, and every single time we send something, people click and check it out. Not all of it, but we have like a 30% conversion rate. So, and that list is around 1,000 people. So if 300 people are clicking and checking things out, uh, we can capture that mindset or like we can bring them back anytime we want to run a test. So I don't think it's a mindshare problem at this point in time. I think it's more about what creates the urgency in the user to purchase something is a basket, I mean, and what data they need, what information they need, how can we trigger the urgency and everything around that. And the second piece is once you build a product, as in like once someone buys the basket, uh, how are we presenting that this is how much value you created? And losing money can still be valuable because people can find information on like, hey, you lost this $20 or you lost this $30, right? It's not only positive, but like that is the value creation part. I think that is missing in terms of how much the basket has moved since you purchased. So I think that value capture piece is not there, and because of that, also value providing piece is not there, and because of that, we don't have much usage. So this is uh, a chicken and egg situation. Like until you prove value, people are not gonna try it. But until they try it, they're not gonna get value. So we need to figure out how to crack this open. Once we do it, I think it's gonna be a little simpler because then you can measure the inflows and outflows and then turn the knobs. Right now, I
yeah,
think the entire jukebox is missing. So if the whole jukebox is missing, then you don't have knobs yet. We don't have knobs yet to
yeah,
turn for the up and down or
that makes sense.
equalizer. Why am I saying jukebox? Equalizer, I mean, sorry.
No, I know. I followed what you were saying. Although every like Gen Z person's like, "What the hell is this guy talking about?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's true. That's true. In
uh,
Winamp, There were bars that you could like up and down.
They have no idea what
Yo,
winner is.
Winamp app. We
I know
definitely
that.
need a Winamp app, a screen, a theme. That will be cool.
I I agree. Did you see that frame that was like an iPod? That was super dope.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, I'll have to send it to you after. It was like
Share it again in your timeline. Tag me.
it's like a literally like the user interface is just like an old iPod. Like you click
Ooh, the Nano, the
uh,
square one.
the square ones, the really old ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Uh,
good. I
yeah.
remember like my brother gifted me that when he got the first job in Canada, and he gifted me that iPod. Uh, I think I smashed it by mistake or something. But yeah, no, that was a very high quality build product. Oh my God. For that time, that was a very high quality product.
I fully agree. Like I
We don't
still
have
have
phones that high quality these days.
no, no, no. Those things were tanks. Like
Yeah,
things.
exactly. Those were tanks.
Yeah, I could give you actually a pretty funny story about that. Like I had mine in my drawer for 2025, so like 12 years. It was just sitting in my
Hmm.
drawer. Not didn't touch it, didn't do anything. Just connected it like recently, charged it, still worked.
That's the beauty, right? Like the consumer electronics at that time was so good. And there is a story behind that. Do you know? Like, I think the cars built in 1990 were better than cars built in 2000 because the cars built in 1990 were so good that people didn't really change it after like 200, 300 miles. And so they purposefully depreciated the quality so that people would cycle through cars in like 8 to 10 years. So, like, older cars were like tanks. They thought they
Yeah,
were needed to be tanks, and people built tanks.
that's literally it. Yeah, like Land Cruisers from the 90s are indestructible forever.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I had a Toyota, not Toyota, sorry, Honda Accord from 1993, and I was using it in 2007 with family. Uh, I was using it, my dad's car, by the way. So my dad was using it, and I was just the driver. But oh my God, the engine and everything, interior sucked. We had scratches and everything. Who cares? But the engine and the quality of just it's going through A to B is perfect. We bought another car, and that car depreciated within 5 years. Worse than the Honda Accord.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. So I heard a little bit of something what you were saying earlier, like um obviously since it's like permissionless, there's a ton that could be built where you're I think you hit 5,000, you already might have surpassed it, or you're approaching it, but ha- like most things on chain, where's your mind in terms of like discoverability of like the best performing baskets, or like you said, even like sometimes seeing like the losses too as well. Where's your mind around that? Like, because I know like now you actually have like a website. You can actually build a basket on the website too, versus casting from it. Um,
Yeah, so we have a mini app for creation of baskets and the agent. We don't have the website creation part yet by itself. We are working on it actually
oh, okay.
as we speak. But you're right. Like what we have learned right now, and surprisingly, in 3 to 4, especially in the last 2, 3 months when the market was going down, holding it was better than a basket. Not going to lie.
Yeah,
But this is an anti-reason basically to use basket, right? Don't use basket if you want to just hodl. If you're hodling, use Ethereum, use uh, Bitcoin. That's what you hodl. So what we learned was this is trade. People use this for trading and trading only. And if that's the case, then with yesterday's bull market push back as in like back into the action, uh, I think there are going to be a lot of baskets that will perform way better. Like there is a degen basket, there is a forecaster index basket, there are a few others. Those will perform better than ETH or BTC on a regular basis. Like of course it's hard to beat what ETH did yesterday, but that's my theory around it at least.
got it. Yeah, I mean that money should make its way back to meme coins hopefully.
Exactly right, like rotation. Like people
Mhm.
made money in Bitcoin, it goes into other like more legitimate altcoins, and then from that it goes to less and less cycle.
Yeah. Um, I know something that like was going on pretty recently with, and I only bring this up because I just saw I got Twitter notifications. But like, are there any plans?
Okay.
So like, Banker started on Farcaster, and then like
Yeah.
they moved to X, and now you can create or interact with Banker on X. And I
Yeah.
know I know the X APIs, you know,
Suck. But yeah.
suck and expensive and everything. But are there what's your where's your mind on that? Like do you see that as kind of like a playbook or like something? Obviously, like
Yeah.
if the volume picks up, like you said, it like that could be a knob for you guys. Like where you're like, let's move so you can create a
Yeah.
basket in Twitter.
So our theory is yes, we will need to go on Twitter, absolutely, because that's where 95% of the audience is. However, I don't think that if we can make a product not work in Firecaster, then it will certainly work in Twitter. I don't think that's possible. Like it's not about that. Like I think we have more EVM density or EVM user density or base user density on Firecaster. Also, at the same time, we have all the tools like notifications and others on Firecaster. If we cannot make the product work inside Firecaster, uh, there are pretty much no chances of that it will work outside. So we have to perfect the product on Farcaster. Farcaster, in my opinion, is the best sandbox for EVM builders right now. Period. Like literally the best sandbox. Once we have like some more successes inside, and the flywheel is moving at a consistent pace, where or predictable pace, we will be moving to Twitter.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I agree. You gotta nail Farcaster, then we go from there.
Yeah.
Makes
If we
sense.
can make it work here, then there is like yeah, I think that the product is not useful.
True, true. Uh, all right, let's take a quick break. I hope you're enjoying the episode. This episode was made possible with the support of my premium subscribers: Seattle Dog, Mike Vinyls, Nonlinear, and Brennan. Thanks again for all your support. Really appreciate it. If you'd like to receive exclusive drops, access to token gated content, make sure to subscribe to my hypersub. I'm also doing a raffle right now for this 25th episode. I'll have more like descriptions down below, but essentially, if you send 50 USDC cents, not $50, 50 cents in USDC, in either base or optimism, to 0773h.eth. Again, I'll just have the address below. Essentially, you'll get a POAP, really cool POAP celebrating the 25th episode. And the prizes are Verbs Coffee, so you can get a subscription to a coffee service if you're into coffee, or you can get a Burner wallet, which is a really cool, like consumer-facing crypto product. It's really fun. A lot of people have been enjoying that for the scavenger hunt. So yeah, I'll be giving away two things. So just make sure to collect that POAP. There'll be a link below on kind of more instructions on how to do it. Yeah, make sure to subscribe to the Hypersub. We've got more content coming to you guys. All right, let's get back to it. Thanks.
By the way, what do you think? Like again, like I would love to get your feedback. I don't know if you like me asking questions back to you or not,
Yeah.
but
No, you're good. Yeah, you can ask
yeah,
questions.
yeah.
Um,
So I would love to have your opinion as well. Like, have you used Basket? If yes, for what? If no, that's okay too. But why? Or what would make you buy into a basket? I would love to get the feedback.
I was actually planning on creating a basket, like a content
Oh,
creator
cool.
basket. So I'll probably do
Love
that.
it.
Yeah, I was gonna create a content creator token basket. Um, so I have like my own token. Humpty has his, but I was trying to figure out like other more. So we have another co-host on Early Morning Crew, Tree Girl. She doesn't have one. Um, but I feel like I can patch one together. Like I can figure it out. I think if I use like Jake's QR,
Oh, right.
you know, because he's a content creator. I think Toady Hawk also has one. So I think I can put one together where it will work, because I wouldn't want it to be like,
Hmm.
30, like only three choices. Like I would love it to be more like, 10%, 8%, so then it feels like a
Yeah.
real like content creator index.
So by the way, one thing I've learned is, which we haven't enforced in the product yet, but I think the after 4 or 5 products, it becomes information overload for the user.
Okay.
So one of the theses that we have is we want to try pushing for more 5 token baskets, five if we can, if that converts better. So we haven't tested this yet; it's still in thesis mode, but intuitively we have started feeling that uh, let's 4 to 5 is perfect number, because below 4, like it's 1, 2, and 3, you're right, it's not useful basket anymore. You can just buy them separately.
Yeah.
But 4 or 5 is the number that you're like, okay, I'm gonna start using it. And after 5, it's a diminishing return.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's good. That's good insight. I would definitely surface that because I, in my head, I'm like, I don't know what the right number is. I just knew like three felt like not right. I was like, that's like
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like I
three.
think you're a product person. Your intuition is very much aligned.
Yeah. So I do. I was planning on doing it before the call, but um, sort of got stuck on the decision paralysis, like figuring out like which ones to put it in. So
You,
I like
but that's the point, right? That's the point of basket, because you are doing the decision and thought process and everything else. People are borrowing your decision making and research.
yeah.
That's the perfect example of like why I would want to use a basket with from the person I trust that research. So now I would buy Gramajo's basket, uh, or Gramajo's content creator basket in this case, because I don't have much experience in content creator, but I believe in the thesis of content creators making more money. If that's the case, then basket it is.
Yeah. So stay tuned after this call. I'll definitely build it.
Perfect. Just let me know when you build it, and I will push it to, because we send new baskets from amazing creators on a weekly basis. We should be able to push that to our users either Monday or next Wednesday.
Okay.
So
Is
we'll put
there
it in front of the users.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll definitely I'll ping you.
Perfect.
Another like thing based on the question that you asked me earlier was kind of like tapping into the social graph. Like, so are you? I don't know how you would track this, but you can tell me. Like, I come up
Yeah,
with the
tell
idea.
me.
You tell me if it's feasible.
That's
But it's
all good, man. Tell
essentially
me.
like let's say I create this basket, right? And let's
Mm-hmm.
say Humpty or someone else uses my basket to buy it, and
Mm-hmm.
then more and more people do it. And so then when someone else completely not relevant, like doesn't know me or maybe does know me, who knows, but they could see, like, because right now we have this too, like certain apps where like it shows you who else has bought it. It has like their little PFP and it'll
Yeah.
be like 5 of your friends bought X, like is there
Yeah.
a
So
way
we
to be
already
like,
have that feature actually.
oh
We already
cool,
have that feature. Like on a basket, if you go, it will tell you exactly who has bought it in the past. It's not too many people right now, but it's there. If it's Farcaster, it will show you the Farcaster profile. If there is no Farcaster profile attached, then it will show you the wallet itself. It's not clickable yet, where you can see all the full list, but it will give you like the pin stacked pin version of it. However, we are actually going to bring it even further, where you will not only see who has bought the baskets, but you will also see the owners of individual tokens within the basket. So if somebody has not bought a basket, but they have like, let's say, degen coin, like basket has 5 coins and 2 of them are degen and clanker. Let's go with that. And you will also see people who owns degen and clanker that you are following. And then you'll say, okay, so these people have these 2 coins that is in the basket, and there are 3 other coins that looks to be similar. I think I should get all 5 of them as an example.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that because then it would be like a rabbit hole, because then you'd be like, okay, there's I don't know Jadoopy or whatever, but I see everybody that has it, so it's like a rabbit hole, and then you can go back to the top and you're like, screw it, this makes sense. Like, let's buy the
E-
basket.
Exactly. It's like more social validation opportunities, where current social opportunities, whether somebody has bought the basket or not, and it's a net new data, uh, which is why it's not that much. So how can we use the existing blockchain data, on-chain data, to provide more social proof? And
Yeah.
that's where this feature will be very handy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like leaning into the social proof aspect of it. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So I think it's gonna again those that feature is extremely hard to build because we have to create a lot of caching mechanism for each and every person and say who are the people that you follow who also owns some of the tokens from this basket, and that query itself is gigantic. So it's a combination of two, three different queries, or as my developer said, it's literally a 10 query 10 different select statements from different joins. So it's gonna take time before we put it out there because if we do it as is, then it's gonna crash the servers on a consistent basis
Yeah,
because
that makes sense.
it's a very heavy load.
I imagine so. Yeah, yeah. I know exactly. I know exactly what you just said. Actually,
You're a
that's.
developer, right? So you know exactly what I mean.
No, I'm not. But it reminded me of SQL. So yeah, it reminded me
Dude,
of SQL.
if you know SQL, you're a developer in my
Okay.
eyes. There
just
was time
just
where I used to literally code more in SQL than JavaScript. I actually like those days.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I SQL's fun. It's like I actually learned Python first and then SQL, and that was
Oh, okay.
that was a good combo because like for a moment I was trying to get into this whole like BI like
I was
enterprise
about to say
B,
data.
yeah, data analytics. Yeah, I still might
Yeah,
do
you
it,
were
but
using Jupyter notebooks mostly because you were
yep,
using Python with Jupyter notebook with data like what do you call it? Data adapters for whatever you want to use, and you write SQL in the middle.
yep, that's exactly it. Yeah, so Jupyter Notebooks was like where I was spending a decent amount of time.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, do you have any other questions that you have in mind since you have me?
So I have a lot of questions. As in, like, why do you create the content? What like I know your personal job around this, right? Like you work somewhere else. Not gonna dox until whatever you want to dox. But point is that why do you create content? Because content creation doesn't come naturally to me. I create content for two reasons. One, I think Farcaster has made me comfortable sharing my content, like my personal uh, stories around this. So I'm getting comfortable with this, but so far I have not been previously. And two, it helps with the company as well because I think building in public helps. So these are my two reasons on why I am sharing way more on Farcaster than anything else, and mostly around my product and my thoughts around startups and everything around it. What makes you create more content?
Yeah, I think for me, it's mostly like I've been in this space for over a decade now, um,
Wow.
and I really enjoy like the morphing of like crypto and tech, like that that Venn diagram. It like speaks to me.
Yeah.
So that made it so I want to focus mostly on people like you, like people that are trying to build something on chain um, that's different. You know, like you said, and you chose the permissionless path, and I think that's what I like about Basket is that you didn't choose like, hey, let me build like highly curated. You could only buy CB, BTC, you know, like wrap Bitcoin and only like only like
Yeah.
the high. Not saying that meme coins aren't high quality, but like you can only buy like the super safe stuff. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
no crypto safe, but like you know what I mean.
No,
Um,
Bitcoin safe these days. I'm confident Bitcoin is the safe haven.
me too, me too. But like I can't tell people like go buy more Bitcoin, but yeah, Bitcoin to me at this stage is like beyond safe.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so the fact that you did it permissionless, so I like that aspect of it. Like
Thank
is
you.
um we have enough things in Web 2 that tell us we can't do something. So we have enough people. We have YouTube telling us we can't make. Well, actually, YouTube's pretty good, but like you have to have like 500 subscribers on YouTube to make money. Twitter telling
Yeah.
us, you can't make any money with us unless you have like I don't even know 3 million
Shit ton of
impressions.
followers.
Yeah, exactly. So we always have a bunch of rules in Web 2 of things that you can't do,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
in Web 3, it's like it flips all that upside down. It's like
Even if you have 5 followers, you can make money by direct tip by removing the middleman, right?
that's exactly it, man. Like like Farcaster, like has really unlocked that for me a lot, I would say. So like before I used to make I had Patreon, like a Patreon subscription
Yeah,
for my
yeah,
newsletter,
yeah, yeah.
and I got a couple subs and stuff.
Good product though. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like Patreon guys.
fantastic product. Yeah, yeah, they're cool, and I actually like Substack a
I
lot.
love that founder. But anyway, sorry.
But yeah, that's kind of why I build content. It's mostly like to highlight the stories of people that are building things that either flip the script or and like try and catch it early enough, like so the main focus that I've been on right now is Farcaster is very base heavy. So
Yeah,
obviously you're on base, but I have been spending more time interviewing like Solana founders. Stacks is another ecosystem
perfect.
that I'm very involved with, which is the
Okay.
Bitcoin L2. So I plan
I was
on
about to
doing
stack. Okay, yeah, I know that one. Perfect.
yes, I plan on bringing some BTC content soon, some WorldCoin as well. Obviously, like I don't want to like split myself too thin, like, but
Yeah.
the goal is just to introduce people to new ideas and new ways of thinking, and usually with
Mm,
tech. It's usually with tech. That's usually what I try and focus on. So like,
that's
um,
nice.
yeah, it
That's
kind of
super nice. What's happening in the Solana and the Stack world? Actually, I've heard about Stack long time ago. There are a few Bitcoin EVM L2s out there. Uh, what's special? What do you think is the uptick there? What's the adoption? If you we can probably cancel like finish this one completely and then have a separate conversation. I'm open to it, but I'm definitely curious.
yeah, yeah. Actually, that's a good call out. Let me. I do have one more question then before we pivot. I mean, we could
Let's
talk
do
about
that
this
and then
too.
we'll come to that.
All right, last question then before we wrap up then. And this is gonna be like you're gonna be like, what the hell? So I initially
Okay.
got started with this, and it used to be like bite-sized data was kind of like the whole idea of my newsletter and my content. So like like
Hmm.
uh, and so that led to like me calling it pinchos, which are like a type of snack. So, what is your favorite snack?
What's my favorite snack?
And this is a
My
question
God.
I've asked
Okay.
everybody now. No pressure.
So, oh my God.
And don't say carrots.
I'm it. No, of course, screw carrots. Screw carrots. I eat that because so that I don't feel like eating more. Uh, but my favorite snack, personally speaking, is something called like they're basically fried peanut in a chickpea batter, and a lot of spices are added on it. They're called sing bhajia. It's a very Gujarati dish, uh, and I can't have it more because it's extremely spicy. And if I eat more than a lot, then it shows up on the next day. So that's tough. But the point is that it's absolutely bliss when I can have it with like so what I do, actually, I'm salivating right now, as you can
Yeah,
already
this sounds
think.
really good, by the way.
Yeah, so point is that I actually have like two side by side dishes. One is like I would have sing bhajia, which is like the fried peanuts in a chickpea batter with like lots of spices on top of it, pretty much the black pepper. It's surrounded by black pepper itself, grounded one. And one side, and another side, it's extremely sweet yogurt. It's called Shrikhand. So I actually have like two things side by side, and I munch it like I'm eating popcorn, and I can go for hours, and it's great.
Oh my goodness, dude. I need to try this. What the hell? This sounds magical.
Yeah, it is magical for me. Like I've done that only 3 or 4 times in my life because I know how unhealthy it can be and how impactful it is in my like next 3 days, 4 days of schedule because it is that strong. But it's absolutely the best thing for me to have, especially like the one that I get from, especially my mom comes or parents come from India. They have a particular place I like it from, especially. So they bring like couple of bags for me, like a couple of kg bags. So I would have that one bag with a couple of like the sweet yogurt one that I just mentioned side by side and spoonful of it. And I know that I'll be not eating anything crazy for next 2 or 3 days after that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that, man. Oh, that sounds really good. I'm gonna have to try that at one point. Yeah, the whole
Sure,
point
I'll
is
send you
obviously
some links.
yeah. Send me some links. I'm gonna give that a go.
Yeah, as you're in the brown one of the brown capitals of the world. Again, I'm not gonna dox you. You'll find it there.
No, I think most people know I'm in the Bay Area, but yeah, there's plenty.
Okay, yeah,
There's a lot of Indian guys,
exactly.
a lot of
You'll
Indian people
find lots
here.
of this at Indian groceries. Both, I'll send you a couple of links. Find any brand and side by side. I think you'll enjoy it. I know you like spicy food. We had a couple of
I do, I do.
good meal conversations at Farcon.
That was the great thing about FarCon, man. Like it was funny because like I think I said bye to you at the Bright Moments, and then like
Right. And we just ran into the other one.
five
Yeah.
minutes later we were running into each other at eating pizza, which was hilarious. And then I met
Yeah.
my nemesis. Shout out Vishal. I'm just kidding.
Poor guy. Poor guy didn't know what hit him.
I know, no. It's hilarious. I've been chatting with him after I shared the. I don't even know this guy's name. JC4P Jack is Jap.
Oh, yeah. I know I don't know who that person is. I don't know if even he was there. So
Yeah, exactly. But he or she shared I believe it's a he, but he shared
I think it's he.
yeah, like a markdown file to throw into LLM, which helped a lot. So I just shared that with Vishal. And I was like,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna ask you about that later on. Like I'm not coding as much, but when I start coding more, I'll be requesting that file.
yeah, I think he has it on his GitHub repo. I'll send you the link. He has it on his GitHub repo where
Perfect.
like he has like 3 different flavors, and that actually helped me like troubleshoot all the issues I was having. I was having like little mini like, as you know, like debugging things. I was like, why can't I like figure this thing out? And then
Yeah.
uploaded that thing, and the LLM knew what to do.
That's perfect, man. That's perfect. But yo, thank you for having me. This has been a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
in person was fun, but this is even more fun.
of course. Yeah. No, I'm glad that we got to meet in person as well. I think before I actually close it up, I was gonna ask you like, what are your what's your thoughts on the week that we were just at Farcaster? What's on like what did you
Farcaster was a lot of fun.
or
I think I
Farcon?
said
Sorry.
this in person as well. Yeah, fuck yeah, you're
No,
right.
that was me.
Farcon.
Yeah, Farcon.
No, it's okay. So Farcon was a lot of fun. Again, meeting people that you know and talk virtually. You have zero idea what they look like, and then you meet them, and they're shorter, taller, all kind of different variations of whatever you can think of. And some people are warmer, some people are colder, but it's all personalities. Most people are warmer than colder, by the way, in person. So that was fun. So that is amazing, amazing. Uh, I think comparing with last FarCon, because I was there last year as well, I actually like the previous version a little bit better. Call me nostalgic because of that, or maybe I'm a stuck up in that sense. But I think I wanted more community activations. Like what I missed was uh, community involved in and getting things more fun. So for the last FarCon, there was activation by like uh, humankind, right? Humankind was there. Be Curious was there. She was also selling her tea and everything. Again, it's not about like I don't buy those things because again I'm very specific, but it's more about supporting those people who really like supporting those people and giving them an opportunity to get their voice out in person. That part was missing. I thought there were spots on the location that could have been used for community activation. Also, what I liked in the last FarCon was you can print your anything on your own T-shirt as well. That was, I think, was a great activation. I haven't seen that kind of activation in a while. For example, the board game guy, Nerd, also had like 3 hours of a room of full of board games, right? So those kind of things I missed, which was completely done by the community and community themselves and no one else. As long as you give them a corner, they'll take care of everything else. I think that's what I missed. Uh, Became a little bit more commercial this time.
Yeah.
Luckily, people made it more fun, but it became more commercial. And I think for the community to thrive, because it's a community-led event and not really by Farcaster, I think I would have appreciated more community involvement. So that's the only thing I'm negative about. But meeting in people, high quality content, oh my God. The conversation with Fred Wilson was amazing. I
Yeah.
learned a lot from that, right? Like that was like very, like people pay $500 to sit in this kind of places where Wilson is giving this kind of talks, right? As an
Yeah.
example. So those are very high quality content. But yeah, positives,
Uh,
negatives, more positives though.
yeah, I agree with you. That Fred Wilson talk, definitely give that a listen if you weren't there. That was a good one.
Yeah, it hits differently.
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah, it's funny. I've heard a couple people like post it. Like, I've been chatting with people like in DMs or whatever, and I've heard similar sentiment too from other folks too about it. I didn't go to the last one, so
Perfect.
I came into it completely like,
Oh, okay.
clean slate. I was like, I have no idea. Didn't go to Boston either. The one 2 years ago, like
Oh, I was not
2020.
even on Farcaster at that point.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the next one is like. But all right, if you're hearing this message, that means you've listened to the entire episode, and I want to thank you for that. If you're listening to this on another platform other than Pods, make sure to collect this episode. If you're on Pods, make sure to subscribe from your favorite Web2 podcasting app so you're notified when I drop episodes. There's also a Pods mini app if that's a little bit more in line with your style. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts. If there's a specific person or topic that you'd like me to cover in the future, definitely let me know via Warpcast or Farcaster, RIP Warpcast, Twitter, or wherever is best. There's even a text message you can send me down below. Before we wrap up, make sure to, again, collect your POAP. Should be fun. And before we wrap up, this week's Cast Off, and Cast Off, for those not familiar, is a segment where I want to hear from you, the audience. So this episode's Cast Off question is, what do you think about baskets? Is it a tool you see that you would like want to use? Seems like a pretty cool thing, like that you can kind of create and then have some upside on like referring people to use your, essentially like what's like a basket or index of tokens. Now that Farcaster is exploring, Solana chain, I'd be curious, and I could see it'd be kind of cool where you have base tokens and Solana meme tokens all in one basket. But hey, it's only day one on that Solana integration, so we'll see what happens. All right, see you guys. Till next time.